Nightmares by Magical Persona, fandom Gravity Falls. Mabel was quietly making her way down the stairs. She heard the soft hum of voices from the TV and had hoped someone would be up to talk to. Usually she would just wake Dipper, but he was having enough trouble sleeping without her bothering him. She had tried everything, even going so far as to meow her back to sleep, but it hadn't worked. So now she was going with plan, was it L? Maybe P. She'd come up with too many to remember. When she stepped into the living room, she saw someone sitting in the chair. It was Grunkle Stan's chair, so naturally that's who she'd expected to find in it. Grunkle Stan? She asked quietly as she took the hand that had been resting on the chair. It was then that she noticed something was off. This hand had an extra finger. Stanford had been on the verge of sleep when Mabel spoke. He hadn't planned on answering her since she was looking for Stanley. It wasn't until she took his hand that he realized she'd mistaken him for his twin. His tired eyes looked at her just as she figured out her mistake. "I'm sorry, Grunkleford," she said, taking a small step back. "It's all right," he said gently. The room was dark, only lit by the soft light from the television set. "Shouldn't you be asleep?" Mabel looked down at the floor and mumbled something. Stanford was almost certain he caught the words "can't sleep," and with an understanding look he pulled Mabel into his lap. "It's all right." The child curled into her grunkle's chest, spending the next minute getting comfortable. "Everyone's leaving." Stanford held his niece gently. "No, you and Dipper are leaving, but when you come back, everything will be the same. There will still be friends for you to make and countless adventures to be had." Mabel seemed fairly content with that reply as she closed her eyes. Stanford watched for a moment. Had that been what her nightmare was about? People leaving her? He felt a pang of guilt strike him, but he shook his head. No one was leaving. Not for good, at any rate. It wasn't long before sleep managed to take hold of him again, but this time it came with no interruptions, and his dreams weren't as nightmarish as usual. When he woke, it was to the soft click of the camera as he found himself looking at Dipper. "Can I ask you why you found it necessary to take a picture?" he asked quietly, not wanting to wake Mabel. And Dipper gestured to the sleeping girl. "She'd never let me hear the end of it if I let one of her perfect scrapbook opportunities go to waste." Okay, that is the end of that one. Gosh, this was written years ago. And I can tell you how long ago it was written because I have a tag. One of my one of my tags on here is called Mabel Ford Interactions Are Gold, pun intended, which means I can place the exact time in the airing of the show that this was written. Thank you so much for listening this far. I really appreciate it. And if you guys want to check out the wonderful human being who made this art that you guys see, all of their stuff and information is in the description, as well as the link to the fic if you want to read it for yourself. But thank you so much and stay tuned because there will definitely be more.